Game one of this series defined by the long ball for St. Louis. And I mean the long ball. Johnny Peralta, his home run measured well beyond 400 feet, 448 to be exact. And then it was Matt Holliday. Holliday, a three-run shot that just snuck over the wall, 420 feet. The icing on the cake, Colton Wong. He also hit a three-run homer. 413 feet, over 1,270 feet, measured in home runs for the Cardinals. Does it carry over in Game 2? We're about to find out. This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight, from the Steel City, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Pirates playing host to the National League Central leading St. Louis Cardinals. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. That's the Matt Hungarian Albraboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Right now, the pitching has been the story of this season, but recently, the offense clicking on all cylinders.
Well, it's starting to make a big difference, starting to get a little bit of leeway for these relievers, and they don't have to be so perfect. How about Colton Wong? He's got 5 of his 15 career home runs against the Pirates. Matt Holliday has been outstanding all season long, leading in on-base percentage and with runners in scoring position. And Jason Hayward, boy, he's been a real run producer of lately. He's scoring a lot of runs himself. We get nice to get everyone going again.
Carlos Martinez will get the start for St. Louis. Vance Worley going for the Pirates. We hope you sit back and settle in. It's Cardinals baseball tonight on Fox Sports Midwest. Budweiser, designated driver, and enjoy the great times. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealers for great prices on our all-new 2015 vehicles today. Looks like a painting. Doesn't even look real. It's a gorgeous setting for baseball here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pirates are struggling. The Cardinals are on a roll. And let's take a look at Mike Matheny's lineup for tonight. John Jay will lead it off and play center field, followed by Colton Wong, the red-hot second baseman. Matt Holliday with a home run last night. Matt Adams, the Pennsylvania native, will bat cleanup and play first base. Johnny Peralta, one of 3 Cardinal home runs in Game 1. Jason Hayward, Yadier Molina, Mark Reynolds at third, filling in for Matt Carpenter. And on the mound batting ninth, Carlos Martinez. 5 starts so far for Vance Worley. He's 2-2, but here at home, he's a much better pitcher.
Got 2-0, 1.54 ERA at home, and ever since he's been wearing the Pirate uniform, he's a better pitcher here in Pittsburgh. He's coming off his best start of the year. That was against the Cardinals last Sunday, where 6 innings, just 1 run allowed. We'll see what the big right-hander has in store tonight.
The Hyundai pitch arsenal: fastball, slider, a knuckle curve, and a changeup. The arsenal for Vance Worley. There's Clint Hurdle and his defense. The alignment tonight presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Gung is the only change, and he's at third base tonight. Harrison will have a seat. He has been struggling, and we're underway. A strike to John Jay. 86 degrees, our game time temperature here up east. Jay is hitting .255. No home runs, and he's driven in 5. Back to Worley for the first out.
First out, Worley break onto the scene with Philadelphia. And he went to Minnesota, and now his second season with the Pirates.
3 years with the Phils, traded to Minnesota for Ben Revere. Comes to Pittsburgh for a player to be named later. Here's the red-hot Colton Wong, his 5th 3-hit game of the season last night. You know, Colton can be so tough on himself, and it seems like now when he struggles, he puts that behind him for the most part. That .340 average is tied with Matt Holliday, 6th best in the National League.
Loves hitting against the Pirates. Pirate pitchers have served up 5 of his 15 career home runs.
The interesting part about that, all have been in the 7th inning or later.
Yeah, usually at a game winners or put you ahead.
It's popped foul and out of play. It's a fireworks night after the game. So fans still filing in, and a huge crowd expected this evening. Cardinals had 11 hits last night, with 7 of the 11 going for extra bases. Here's a 1-2. Hit to the right side. Alvarez flips to Worley for the out. It's turned to Al Rabowski's Toyota keys to the game.
Well, you want to get Martinez, and you want him to learn from his last experience. The worst outing as a starter. You let his emotions get away from him, and you kind of want to see if he learned from that. And keep up this bat attack. Cardinals really swinging a hot bat. As you said, all the extra base hits. Cardinals a lot of times are getting a lot of singles, but when you can mix in a few home runs and some doubles and triples, boy, it makes a big difference of guys crossing home plate.
So here's Holliday, .340 average, pair of home runs, 17 driven in. And the first pitch is strike. You can see Pedro Alvarez on the ground ball off the bat of Colton Wong was in between whether to backhand or circle the ball. And then it was Vance Worley covering for out number 2. So a pair of ground ball outs to start our contest.
Still fresh in everyone's mind, the PFP, pitchers fielding practice that you do every day in spring training. Orioles had a little success against Holiday. He's just 1 for 9. That was a double, a couple RBIs.
The 2-1 pitch. And it's 3-1. The Cardinals 22-7 to begin this season. 9-1 in their last 10 games, and they lead the Central Division by 6.5 over Chicago. A 3-1 pitch to Matt Holliday. He goes the other way, slicing down the right field line. That ball is fair. Is he thinking two? He is. Polanco fires into second, and Holliday in there safely with a 2-out double.
7th double of the year, and Holliday now has reached base every single game that he's played. He's played in 28 of the 30 games and reached base in all of them. And you know, he's been doing this a lot, really taking that outside pitch, driving it to the opposite field. Polanco has a strong arm, but Matt hustling all the way. He's out there in scoring position with 2 outs.
Gregory Polanco, very good arm from right field. Baseball America rated him as the best hitter for average, best athlete, best defensive outfielder the last 2 years in the minor leagues for Pittsburgh.
Well, Pittsburgh really has 3 center fielders in their outfield, and they all are speedy. They all can cover a lot of ground.
First pitch, a strike to Matt Adams. Adams did not start against Liriano last night with the lefty-lefty matchups. And he hits it to the right side, taken by Alvarez. 3 ground ball outs here in the top of the first. And Carlos Martinez gets the call tonight for St. Louis. Park in Pittsburgh. I'll just mention the fact that Holliday has reached base in every game that he's played in. So now it's up to 28. The all-time record, 2008, 42 straight. Begin a season for Albert Pujols in 2008.
He's got 2 Hall of Famers in front of him and a future Hall of Famer.
The Pirates lineup: Gregory Polanco, Neil Walker, and Andrew McCutchen, followed by Starling Marte, leads their club in home runs and RBIs. Pedro Alvarez, then Gung, Cervelli, Mercer, and Worley. Carlos Martinez does not turn 24 until September 21st. One of the young guns in this rotation for the Cardinals.
His last start, his ERA went up about 2 full points. Still has the 3rd best ERA in the National League on the road. A very, very fine 1.29, and let's see if he didn't learn something from his last outing.
Polanco is hitting .264, and a ground ball that's taken by Matt Adams for the first out. Hyundai pitch arsenal for number 18.
It really has 3 exceptional pitches. His fastball can get up there with the best of them. His curveball and changeup are very good pitches when he stays on top of it. And I'm sure Derek Lilliquist and Mike Matheny are going to watch and see how many strikes he throws in this first inning. Last time, remember, he walked the first 2 guys, ended up walking 3 in the first inning, and a big 5 spot was put up against him.
1 out, nobody on for Neil Walker, and that's strike 1. One of the big improvements for Carlos Martinez is what he's done against left-handed batters. This year hitting .233, and in his career they've hit over .300.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Dan. And he does have the weapons to get them out, but for whatever reason, a lot of times, you know, he just was a thrower out of the bullpen, and they've got him thinking as a starter, back off a little bit with the velocity, sacrifice velocity for location, and other than his start last week, he's been outstanding.
2 balls and 1 strike. Graduate of Pine Richland High School, Neil Walker. That's about 30 minutes north here in Pittsburgh, and a favorite son of this city. That evens it up at 2-2. Of course, his dad was a pitcher in the big leagues and even pitched for St. Louis for a brief time.
Yep, had a very short stint with the Cardinals. Left-handed reliever. Competition. Acts him out.
You got him out of there, huh?
Hell yeah.
Just missed, and the count runs 4. Last night, Trevor Rosenthal tied my partner Al Hrabosky on the all-time saves list in Cardinals history.
And we can, hopefully after tonight, we can forget about that and he can go after Joe Horner.
A 3-2 pitch, and a ground ball again to Matt Adams. To Martinez for out number 2. Cardinals defense presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Holiday, Jay, and Hayward in the outfield. Reynolds the start tonight at third. It was Cosma last night. Johnny Peralta is at short. Wong and Adams on the right side, and Yadier Molina is behind the plate.
You can tell this is a little different pitcher. Carlos very much the emotions in check, slowed everything down.
Even admitted that after his last start against the Cubs. He said he was just overly emotional. Big crowd, the Cubs, and he gave up 5 runs in the first, and the Cardinals eventually won that game 10-9.
It made him watch the video to really kind of watch his own mannerisms and see how he reverted back.
That's the smoke from Manny Sanguillen's barbecue out in center field.
Sure it's not on fire?
Not on fire. At least we hope not. That's driven into left center field off the bat of McCutchen, who's starting to heat it up. All the way to the wall. Cut off by Jay. And it's a 2-out double for Andrew McCutchen.
Multi-hit games for McCutchen the last couple days and off to a good start here. Only keep him down so long, but down in the zone and in the middle of the plate. Not the worst location, but you're talking about an exceptional hitter.
A few weeks ago at Wrigley Field, picked up hit number 1,000 of his career, all with the Pirates. And now it's Starling Marte, who was 3 for 4 last night. Outfield is straight away. Couldn't imagine a cleanup man any faster than Starling Marte, who has 4 infield hits against the Cardinals this season already.
7 home runs, 21 RBIs. Production is there, but so are a lot of strikeouts.
30 this year, 7th most in the National League. Nothing into the count. But how do you not like this outfield that Pittsburgh has with Polanco, McCutchen, Marte?
Like you said, they're just exceptional athletes. All 3 of them could play center field, and you know they can cover this outfield That really does help out a pitching staff.
One ball and 2 strikes. The Pirates, when they look at this season and how it's gone thus far, the pitching's been pretty good. It's been the offense, or lack thereof, that's hurt Clint Hurdle's club. They are batting .233 as a team, and that's 3rd from the bottom in the National League.
And they're struggling at times with their bullpen.
Strikeout number 31 for Marte. And the first strikeout of the night for Carlos Martinez. No score after 1 inning of play. Here's Johnny Peralta, followed by Jason Hayward and Yadier Molina. Peralta with his 4th home run last night.
6-game hitting streak working, and he's also had success against this Pirate starter. 4 for 9.
Two balls and no strikes. You know, we talked so much about the lefties in the Cardinals lineup and how that could be a detriment in facing left-handed pitching. The other side of it is that you're facing right-handers and you may have the advantage. And the Cardinals this year, it's been a tough series for Cervelli, who got nicked again, but the Cardinals are 18-4 against right-handed pitching. They have 3 in the top 10 of hitting against right-handers, so it works the other way too.
They're hitting .285 as a team, and very good point, Dan, because the majority of the time you're going to be facing a right-handed starter.
It's a tough series already for Cervelli, huh?
Better him than us.
You're such a caring sort, Al.
Getting all prepared for Mother's Day.
I agree, by the way.
Now, if it was Yachty or Tony Cruz, we'd have sympathy.
Here's a 3-1 pitch now to the Cardinals shortstop. And inside, so a leadoff walk. The BJC Healthcare difference maker tonight. We take a look at Jason Hayward. The last 11 games, and that's when he dropped down in the lineup. And tonight again, he is batting in the 6th position. And in that spot, Al, you just get the feeling that the pressure's off and he is taken off.
I don't think he's letting it affect him either way, but obviously it would be nice to get him hitting somebody other than the Cubs. Jason does hit this pitcher very well. 6 for 14 with a home run. And what the Cardinals need is jump out with an early lead. They've beaten the Pirates 7 straight times dating back to last year.
Here's a 1-0. What you were talking about is 11 hits this year against Chicago, 15 against the rest of the league so far.
It plays on your mind a little bit, so you know with a couple months we'll be able to laugh at that. Just say it's an oddity.
Two and one the count. Get the feeling this might be a good pitch to go and be overly aggressive with. We know he has a great command of the strike zone, but this right-hander should get a pitch to hit here on 2-1. He does, and drives it into left center field. That ball is down. Marte couldn't get to it. Peralta on his way to third, and it's a double standing up for Jason Hayward.
Well, you got the pitch that you wanted, and you know we talked about how he has the ability to go drive the ball to the opposite field with this outfield, and that's right off the end of the bat. Not going to carry well, but Marte closed on that ball, and you all of a sudden remember the great speed they have in that outfield. But it gets down, and the Cardinals with a great opportunity, second and third, nobody out.
Yadier Molina hitting .269. No home runs. He's driven in 13. And that is caught by Walker. And out there at third base.
Triple play.
Now it's a triple play. It wasn't until they threw to second. A triple play turned by Pittsburgh. Heads up play by Walker to go to third first and then throw to second. Young didn't know. Now they do. Triple play. Here, you know, Young, I'm not sure realized this was only out number 2.
Yeah, you see
Hayward goes back to the bag at second base. They may not have turned a triple play.
Well, Walker did the smart thing. The line drive to the second baseman. he sees that both runners have advanced so far, particularly Hayward at second. Yanni trying to get him to go back, but you're right. The third baseman, the Korean third baseman, he had no idea, and they had to tell him, hey, throw back to second for the third out.
To an extent, that's on Hayward not to hustle back to the bag at second.
Yeah, I mean, he knew he was dead, but he didn't. If he would have taken the time to get back there, he would have been able to get back to second.
Pitch at 96 from Carlos Martinez. 1 ball, 1 strike on the Cardinal killer, Pedro Alvarez. 16 career home runs against the Cardinals. 14 of the 16, by the way, since 2013.
Well, Carlos is doing what he needs to do. Forget about that base running blunder there and the triple play. Just go out there and throw strikes. First pitch strikes, 5 for 5 today.
Here's a 1-2. Hitting just .211, but 5 home runs. He's driven in 14.
I don't think Alvarez will ever hit for a high average, but he will do a lot of damage with his power. Pitchers make too many mistakes to him and cripples hitters. You know, he'll hit well with he's ahead in the count, or when you make a mistake, he can make you pay for it.
3-2 is in the dirt, and he draws a walk. Let's check in with Jim Hayes. Jimmy.
Dan, you guys were talking about Jason Hayward, how it's paid off that they moved him down in the lineup. Sometimes a little change can make a big difference. Since Mike Matheny moved Matt Carpenter into the #2 spot in counting games that Carp didn't play in and moved Hayward down, the offense has really taken off. 10-1 with 9 home runs since the change. 6-point runs per game. Prior to that, 12-6, 3.7 runs per game. The players will tell you their approach remains the same, but Dan, sometimes just a little change changes everything.
Slowly hit left side. Reynolds can't make the play. Gung with an infield hit. Second hit tonight against Carlos Martinez. The first 2 have reached here in the home half of the second.
Just a little swinging bunt right off the end of the bat. Reynolds comes in, can't barehand it, and Carlos really going to have to dig down deep now. This is where he must learn from his last outing. Don't let the emotions get away. Just keep on battling, but stay within yourself.
Here's Francisco Cervelli.
Has there ever been back-to-back innings with triple plays?
Well, I don't know. Last year, the Cardinals turned a triple play in Toronto. That's it out of play. With runners in scoring position, Martinez has been at his best. Opponents average just 200. And it's off the glove of Adams, stays with it to Martinez for the out. That saves a run, and also the Cardinals get an out of the play.
Another one of those PFP pitchers fielding practice, do it every day. Adams does a nice job. Range far to his right. He dives and gets the ball, but Carlos Martinez must get over to first base. And then when he touches first, he has to be aware of that runner at third. So you see him push off and look to third so they can't steal a run home.
Jordy Mercer hitting under 200. No home runs. He's driven in 4. Adams is way off the line at first base, even with the bag. Reynolds in a few steps at third. Breaking ball that's taken inside for ball 1.
When anything hit to the right side as a pitcher, you break over there, and you see these give him the target. Ideally, you want to You want it around chest high. You don't want it up there too high, because then you have to take your eye off the bat. If you're running and you get a ball chest high, you can look down and see the bag without really taking your eye off the ball. Mercer has had success against Martinez. He needs to make a big pitch and miss a bat.
The 1-1. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Good breaking ball there.
The 1-2. In the dirt. A wild pitch by Carlos Martinez. 1-0 Pittsburgh.
Big mistake by Carlos. Ahead in the count, tries to overthrow the pitch. It gets away, bounces in front of the plate, gets by the 7-time Gold Glover, and they get a lead. Carlos is going to have to put that aside and make sure he strands the runner at third.
2-2 the count. Infield now drawn in. Molina couldn't hold on, and still Mercer is alive.
Mercer 4 for 7 off of Carlos. He's just 1 for 10 on this homestand.
The 2-2. It's sharply to Wong. Now Peralta to Adams. The run does score. 4-6-3, and Wong is shook up a bit.
Have the infield in. He throws the ball off the plate. See Carlos a little bit out of control. Wasn't going to make that play either way, and with the infield in, you thought Wong was going to be able to get it, but you're right. He kind of came up like feeling for the shoulder as that ball deflected to Peralta. Did a nice job to get it out at first.
Stretching right now, the left arm and shoulder, Colton Wong.
He had the shoulder problems last year, didn't he?
Correct. Right center, Jay won't get it. Vance Worley, the pitcher, hits it to the wall. And it's a 2-out double.
Carlos was slumping the shoulders. Things that they wanted to watch the video of his last outing, to where he let his emotions get out of control. It wasn't bad, but you don't want to. You want to stop that right now. The walk produced a run. The wild pitch allowed the first run to score, and then it also set up the second run, moving the runner to third.
And a strike. Last year, Wong was on the disabled list June 22nd to August 5th. And that was left shoulder soreness.
And that's what he's grabbing now, the left shoulder.
Good changeup that time. No balls and 2 strikes.
Cardinals playing with a short bench, and you have to keep an eye on that. Another indication where he's stretching his neck at that upper arm.
Al, I want you to take a look as you get another look at Colton Wong. But Carlos Martinez, the off-speed pitches, he really falls off hard to the first base side. And his fastball, I've noticed he's more direct to the plate.
You don't want to fall off either way.
That's driven into the corner and right, and a fair ball. One hops off the wall. Polanco, who can really run, will stop at second base. Drives in Vince Willie. And that makes it a 3-0 Pittsburgh lead.
Here got the eye for Polanco. His 10th double. And I was waiting for Derek Lilliquist or someone to come out. You see once again, when he's falling off to the side like that, whether it's a breaking ball or anything, you don't have anything behind it. The ball's gonna stay up because you're kind of getting underneath it, you're spinning it. Times you get a little tough love, and I think Derek is pretty good at distributing that tough love. He's done a great job.
Animated as we've seen Derek Lilliquist this year. As Martinez is shaking his head. It's 3-0 here in the bottom of the second.
Remember in his last start, it was Mike Matheny that went out to deliver a message after 2 walks to begin the game.
Here's Neil Walker, grounded out to first. 0 for 1 tonight. One pitch. A couple of fastballs. That one registering 97.
Well, there's no doubt he's got electric stuff. But can he keep it in check? His first 4 starts were outstanding, and going deep into a game to what he needs to do. And you might have something too, the way he's falling off. It's more direct, attacking the hitter with his motion on the fastball. But when you start on your secondary pitches, you change up and falling that far to the right, you're getting underneath it, and you're not staying behind the pitch.
Took some off that pitch, and he strikes out Walker. 2 strikeouts thus far for Martinez. Cardinals trail by 3. Outdoor power equipment. Find a servicing Steel dealer at steeldealers.com or search STIHL. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. What a shot that is, and what a scene here in Pittsburgh. Colton Wong, by the way, went right to the clubhouse, and the Cardinals medical team followed him through that little tunnel there leading up to the clubhouse, and hopefully he's all right.
Fireworks night, so you see the river starting to get a little more crowded too, and got a nice crowd here as it really has filled in. Nice to see fans back in Pittsburgh.
You bet. Here's Mike Reynolds. 1 ball, 1 strike. Facing Vance Worley, the 27-year-old from Sacramento, California. He pitched at C.K. McClatchy High School, which is named after the great-grandfather of former Pirates owner Kevin McClatchy, who many believe saved baseball here in Pittsburgh, but owned the team in one of the darkest times in terms of wins and losses for this organization. Fair ball. Reynolds tag. Let's go back to the Colton Wong play. We saw him dealing with the left shoulder after this.
He dived for it. They had the infield in, but immediately grabs that left arm. Peralta did a nice job to come and get it and throw out the runner.
Here's Carlos Martinez, and a ground ball that's hit to Neil Walker. He's yet to commit an error this season. 2 down. Follow the Cardinals with MLB.com at bat. #1 app for live baseball, in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcast, and more. MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet.
We showed Colton Wong that does have a helmet. He's at the on-deck circle behind John Jay. We'll keep an eye on that as the game goes along. See if it doesn't stiffen up on him.
Well, Vance Worley, another one of these guys that the Pirates detected a flaw in his delivery, and they have found success here in Pittsburgh. Francisco Liriano was one of those. You may remember Edinson Volquez gave them some big innings along the way when he was here in Pittsburgh, and now Worley, who had bone chips removed a couple of years ago, and they saw that he was just flying open with his delivery to the plate, and they asked him, "Why are you pitching as if you're hurt? Let it go." They figured out the flaw in the mechanics, and here he is. Last year really good here at PNC Park. He was 7-2, and his last 4 starts here for the Pirates at home, his ERA is just over 1. Three and 2.
He's made 4 previous starts against the Cardinals with no record and an ERA about 4. So a lot of game left for the Cardinals to make up this 3-run deficit.
Line to short and taken there by Jordy Mercer. Uncork for a Cause charity program, which kicks off on Thursday, May 28th, with a special event to support cancer research at Siteman Cancer Center in St. Louis and raise awareness for colon cancer prevention. You can join the holidays at Shapley Tap Room in downtown St. Louis. To get those tickets, uncorkforacause.com. Uncorkforacause.com. He's done an awful lot in the community in his time in St. Louis. That's ripped out to Holiday. And he makes the play.
Colton back out there, and hopefully a little treatment in between innings to take care of that situation. Cardinals will be playing without Matt Carpenter for this weekend, and we hope everything's getting better there, and we'll see Matt on Tuesday in Cleveland for that 3-game set. Yachty doing a little teaching right there. First pitch strikes. Martinez has been good. He's faced 12 batters, and he's thrown 11 first pitch strikes. But Yachty might have said, hey, that was a little bit too good a pitch right there.
Follow up on the Holiday event coming up. You may remember when Matt's mom was diagnosed with colon cancer back in 2012. Yep, so it's an event very close to his heart and his family's heart. And a fastball and a strike to Starling Marte.
We were talking about it last night that, you know, Matt and Leslie have done a really excellent job of getting involved in the community and did a lot of charitable work.
0-2.
You know, Adam Wainwright falls in that ilk, but I think it really sends a serious and a very positive message to all the younger players that this is what we do. And you really have to commend all the Cardinals for their involvement in the community.
Marte strikes out on 3 pitches, strikes out for the second time, and 3 Ks tonight for Martinez. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks.
Set up inside, and when you get a guy to swing a pitch that's out of the strike zone, that's the kind of stuff that he has, that, you know, you get ahead of the hitters and let them expand their zone.
Here's Pedro Alvarez. Breaking ball and a strike. Walked back in the second to start the rally. Led to 3 runs for Pittsburgh. Pedro telling me before the game he's 1 year shy from his degree in economics from Vanderbilt. He said he does plan on going back to school. He lives in that area of Nashville, Tennessee. He's carved up by Martinez on 3 pitches. Quick inning for Carlos. That'll send us to the 4th. Wong, Holiday, Adams due up. The run race this morning in downtown St. Louis. 173 schools organized teams this spring, and today's turnout made St. Louis the largest girls on the run race in North America. So thanks to all the volunteers and coaches. Congratulations to all the girls and others who ran. Heavily involved, David McCorney of Fox Sports Midwest, big runner himself. And we're happy to contribute any way we can to that particular program. Here's Colton Wong, and let's see the left shoulder in the swing. Curious to see how this at bat goes. If you're just joining us, Wong made a good play on a ball and then rolled over and was holding his left shoulder, stretching it, went back into the clubhouse. We've yet to see him swing the bat since then. 2-0.
And the reason it kind of sets off alarm bells is because he had that injury last year to his left shoulder.
2-0 pitch. I guess his shoulder's fine. There's a base hit into center field, and he's 1 for 2.
I don't know if it's fine, but it feels better.
Brings in Matt Holliday.
Maybe you don't overswing. Just go up there and nice easy swing, and Colton extends his hitting streak to 7 games now.
By the way, Sean Rodriguez has taken over in left field for Starling Marte. Marte did not look good in his 2 at-bats tonight. Struck out both times. Came down with Martinez-itis.
Dreaded disease.
Here's Holliday. And the first pitch is strike. Matt a double down the right field line, his first time up. Bryce Harper leads the league in walks with 26. Holliday 22. That's third best. And Bryce Harper with a walk-off homer for Washington today. He is red hot right now.
He's won at least 6 home runs this week.
3 in 1 game. Yep. Oh-2 is a base hit. So back-to-back singles, and the tying run comes to the plate in the form of Matt Adams. To be off his shoe tops.
Well, Matt's a low ball hitter, and even on occasion he gets a breaking ball, and look at how he uses his entire body to go down with that bat under control and still hit a ball hard and right on the nose that's on your shoe tops.
Well, Matt Adams, number 25, was retired this offseason at Slippery Rock. And at that event was Brian Hopkins, who was the Cardinals regional scout. Some of the numbers he put up at Slippery Rock are scary. 137 games, Allie, at .454 for his career in college. 27 home runs and an on-base percentage of .525. Wow.
I don't care what level or what division you're in, put those numbers up.
Adams to first. Alvarez goes to second to get 1, and it should have been a double play. Pedro has committed 5 errors this year.
Oh, he did stay with it and did get to 1, and they still had the double play in order.
2015, this is the 30th anniversary of the '85 National League Championship team. Memorial Day, Monday, May 25th. Still a lot of good seats remaining for the replica ring giveaway presented by Ameren, Missouri. You see it pictured there, just like the players received. And that is Memorial Day. That's coming up on May 25th. Here's Peralta. And he looks at a strike.
Now, Dan, that was a really nice looking ring. The 85 ring, and those replicas have become very, very popular. Get your tickets quick, because that won't last long.
0-1 pitch.
Our ball.
And it catches Cervelli again. This poor guy is just getting beat up.
He's got all the protection.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's really comforting to hear.
First and 15th, he doesn't mind.
No, those are usually pretty good days around Major League Baseball.
Even Clint's got a little smile.
Chris Stewart is the backup catcher. No balls and 2 strikes on Johnny Peralta. Good cut. Pirates shift just a little bit with Peralta. They have shifted 5th most in Major League Baseball, 166 times coming into play. Tampa Bay 384 to lead Major League Baseball in shifts. 0-2. And Peralta breaks his bat. That ball will drop in front of Rodriguez, and the Cardinals get on the board. Johnny Peralta with his 15th RBI, and it cuts into the lead to make it 3-1 to Pittsburgh.
Peralta's 7-game hitting streak now. Comes around and scores the first run for the Redbirds. They had him played to pull with a shift, and so they're pitching him inside, but he breaks his bat, muscles it over the infield, and the Cardinals get on the scoreboard. Can Hayward give them a lead? That's what I'm thinking right now.
Runners at first and second. Hayward with a double to left center. First time up, he's 1 for 1. If you're wondering, the Cardinals are 29th in Major League Baseball concerning shifts. They were in the middle of the pack last year.
Just fine.
I know you'd love the shift. Catches the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, we've talked about it to where you hope your pitcher is on board with the shifts, and you hope that you pitch accordingly to the shift and not against it.
Hayward with a high fly ball lifted out to deep left. Rodriguez back. 1 hops off the wall. 1 run is in. They'll hold up Peralta, and Hayward is 2 for 2 with 2 doubles. It's now 3-2 Pittsburgh. The way things have gone, you just feel like the Cardinals are never out of a game this year.
I think they have that great attitude that they don't worry about what happens. You know, they just go out there and do their thing, ask the pitcher to hold them down, but then they've got to play 9 innings, so they're just going to be relentless and just come right after you. And just at the end of the day, they can hold their head up high and say, well, we played as hard as we could. We tried the best we could. We didn't pack it in.
T-Mobile game changer and extra base hits. This is updated. Teams with at least 1 extra base hit in every game. There's only 5 teams that are left on that list, and the Cardinals are one of them. Molina shoots it down the right field line. Fair into the corner. The Cardinals have the lead. Yanni on his way to second base. 2-run score. 4-3 St. Louis. 5 hits in the inning for the Cardinals. 3 singles and back-to-back doubles.
Hitting becomes contagious. You start getting a few hits, and everybody relaxes, and they keep on going. You pitch Yachty away, breaking ball. Look at that concentration. So good at going the opposite way. Shot that one down in the right field corner. And Pirates have one of the best pitching coaches in Ray Surge, a former Cardinal farmhand. He's done a nice job. You're talking about some of these reclamation projects, but sometimes the Cardinal hitting is just relentless.
Worley pitched out of trouble back in the second inning. It's not like he's fooled the Cardinals here tonight. They lined into a triple play. You look back at the third. John Jay lined out to short. There's a couple of hard hit balls in the first inning, so just a matter of time.
Yeah, you know, one of the things I noticed about coming into this inning, Worley had thrown 34 pitches, but only 19 of them were strikes.
Eighth place hitter is Mark Reynolds. Yachty spreads the baseball around. 9 to left, 10 to center, 7 to right. So good at going to right field.
And as a pitcher, if you have a pull hitter up there, he's so easy to pitch to. But if you have somebody that uses the entire field, you can't stay in one location. You have to move the ball around. And when you're doing that, there's going to be times when you're going to make a mistake and leave it in a bad spot.
1-0 pitch. .211 with runners in scoring position for the Cardinal third baseman tonight. And new life for Carlos Martinez, who's on deck. And good to see in the bottom of the third, really a shutdown inning for him. A line out to left and then back-to-back strikeouts, his most efficient inning thus far.
He went through 7 pitches to get through that last inning.
Turn him loose on 3-0. You think about the last start for Carlos Martinez, up 5-0, and then it was Mark Reynolds with a grand slam. Cardinals right back in the game against Chicago. Tonight, 3-0 lead for Pittsburgh. Now St. Louis on top. And a walk. Second walk issued by Worley. Tonight, Fox Sports Live will get you caught up on today's Major League Baseball action, and the NBA playoffs roll on. Warriors look to take a lead over the Grizzlies. Our NBA analyst will break down all the action. You can see Fox Sports Live tonight on Fox Sports 1 or simulcast right here on Midwest.
Carlos has a chance to help his own cause right here.
You wonder if the Pirates will start to get their bullpen rolling. Martinez, by the way, 0 for 9 this year, but he does have 2 sacrifices. And Mike Matheny telling us he would be the likely candidate when he's not pitching. If they needed to get a bunt down from someone other than a position player, he's the guy.
Or even maybe a pinch runner. I don't think Seth will be out there for a while.
And a foul ball. So runners back to first and second, and the count runs to no balls and 2 strikes.
Kendo going to talk to Martinez. You're going to sacrifice, give yourself up, get the bat out in front of in fair territory.
Carlos, the 8th man to come to the plate here in the top of the 4th for St. Louis.
Carlos was a shortstop.
Is it as good as a bunt? It sure is.
Better.
No one is at first base, and the bases are loaded.
Showed bunt, pulled the bat back, and gave a healthy cut. He wasn't trying to butcher boy it, but a swinging bunt, and Walker kind of, you see the defense there. Walker is a little slow in getting over to first base, and Triveli felt like he had no throw.
So here's John Jay. Base is loaded for St. Louis. They've already scored 4 and trying to add on. Jay off the bench last night, a key base hit. Strike 1.
Last time up, he ended the 3rd inning with a line drive to shortstop. Cardinals already 8 base hits and a couple of line drive outs.
Jay with a fly ball into center. McCutchen makes the catch. Molina will tag up and he'll score to make it 5-3 Cardinals on the 6th RBI for John Jay.
Colton got things started in this inning with a base hit, came around to score, and he's up again the second time here in the Cardinals' fourth.
Strike one on Colton, who's 1 for 2. You'd have to think that Colton Wong, moving to the second spot in this lineup, is seeing more fastballs, hitting in front of Matt Holliday, and this is a position that is one that most in the lineup would love to be in.
And Dan, I think there's a real key relationship to what you're talking about. Because of the respect that Holliday commands in the third spot, that second hitter gets a lot of fastballs and a lot of pitches because they don't want to face Holliday.
It's Arcia in the driver's seat, and it's 2 balls in 1 strike.
Holliday's been so good, you know, driving in runners, getting on base. You got to sometimes trying to just throw fastballs to the leadoff guy or the guy in front.
2-1 is pulled foul.
You know, they get themselves in trouble.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Colton Wong. Three and 2. You would have to think Wong's going to get a pitch to hit here with Holliday on deck. Doesn't want to face him with the bases loaded.
31 pitches already this inning.
No activity yet. They are stretching in that Pirates pen. Now Liz is throwing. And missed inside. So the third walk issued in this game. Second in the inning, and the bases loaded for Matt Holliday.
See Liz pitched in last night's ball game. Just don't like to go to your bullpen this early. But sometimes you'll get in trouble just trying to stay in with the starter one batter too long.
Holliday already 2 for 2. Ooh, what a cut that was. Matt singled this inning to left field on an 0-2 pitch.
Healthy numbers with the bases loaded.
Here's the 0-1. And Worley will get out of this jam, it looks like. It's hit into shallow center, and the catch is made by Mercer. That nearly dropped. Cardinals send 11 to the plate. 6 hits, 5 runs, and a lead. 12 to the plate. 6 hits, 5 runs. And St. Louis with their first lead of the night. It's now 5-3 here in the bottom of the 4th.
So it's very important for Carlos to utilize these warm-up pitches. Get yourself back in gear. Have command of the strike zone. Coming off his most efficient inning, just a 7-pitch inning. Conversely, Worley had 34 pitches for the first 3 innings and threw 34 more last inning.
Not sure if you saw this or not, Al, but Alan Craig, the former Cardinal, has been optioned to AAA.
I heard you say that in the lunchroom.
Cannot refuse assignment because
not enough time.
Yeah, a player with 4 years of service time can't do that. The Red Sox owe him, by the way, nearly $27 million still.
Wow. And first of all, we just we care about Alan Craig. Such a good Cardinal and such a great player, and never said anything about injury, but that had to have taken a toll on him. Maybe that would be the answer, to go down there and kind of sort things out, and we hope he gets back on track.
Jung Ho Gung with a base hit into center field. By the way, Joe Kelly made the start today for the Red Sox. They lost that game. Kelly's ERA has been around 6, and the Lackey deal is looking better and better, at least initially.
Sure is. Lackey coming off with a great performance in St. Louis. We'll see him in Cleveland.
Tyler Lyons going tomorrow. By the way, Marco Gonzalez is throwing tonight. Jaime Garcia tomorrow at AAA Memphis. And Tyler Lyons, big start for him tomorrow. Here's Francisco Cervelli. Tyler has been so good against left-handed batters for the most part in his major league career. He's seen about 100 at bats against lefties. They're hitting 190 against him. That breaking ball can be very good, which it was the other night. It's just a question of spotting the fastball. Fastball command.
And Dan, that's what you would think would be the easiest thing to do, is have fastball command. But they work so much on secondary pitches, and it really doesn't make a lot of sense, because everything, to be successful, every pitch comes off your fastball. And if you can't throw strikes with it, you're already in trouble.
Breaking ball and a strikeout of Cervelli.
Just gives you an idea of how that breaking ball, they wanted it away and kind of backed up a little bit, but Yadi does a good job of just holding it there and framing it, and Cervelli can't believe it. 5th strikeout for Martinez.
Marte lifted from this game, we get word, because of dizziness. So he's receiving treatment in the clubhouse for Pittsburgh. Here's Jordy Mercer. He picked up an RBI back in the 2nd inning. Fastball and a strike at 97 from Carlos. You talk about Martinez, you're talking about efficiency. Can he get through 5, then 6 and 7? Deeper into games. Keep pitch counts low. Throwing strikes. Good breaking ball, 0-2. That was nasty.
Struck out 4 of the last 6 batters. That could be good and it could be bad. I'd much rather get 2 outs with 1 pitch right here. Carlos doing something that people forget about, but it's extremely important. And that's how to breathe as a player.
There's your double play. 6, 4, 3. The stretch by Adams. Nice turn by Wong at second base. That sends us to the 5th. Cardinals on top. To Jason Hayward for St. Louis. 5-3 Cardinals. Adams is 0 for 2, but does have a run scored. That's fouled back. Chris Bryant of the Cubs finally is homered. He did it off our old buddy Kyle Loesch. First home run as a major leaguer. We were talking about shifts earlier, and Matt Adams last year 162 plate appearances against the shift. This time he lines into it. He hit 340. This year the shift has been put on 31 times. His average is 370. His on base percentage is well above 400. He's one of the guys I sometimes question why teams shift against him.
Well, and he's always kind of questioned it too, because he thought he always hit to all fields. By the way, Martinez, last 2 innings, total of 16 pitches.
Peralta has walked and an RBI single. One ball, one strike. Left-hander Marco Gonzalez has been out since April 22nd. At a 60 pitch limit tonight. And he lasted just 2 1/3 through 56 pitches against the New Orleans Zephyrs. He's tagged for a home run and 4 runs. Zephyrs, by the way, the AAA affiliate of the Miami Marlins. The next spot that would open up, if Tyler Lyons is not the guy, would be next Saturday against Detroit back home at Busch Stadium.
Well, based on that performance, I'd say Marco's not ready, and I wouldn't think he would be ready for a couple weeks.
2-2 the count.
And we saw Tyler Lyons' first 2 starts, and he won both of those. Is winless since that time. But you know, he proved to you right then that he could do it here.
It's interesting when you talk to some around baseball that scout and follow the game, AAA and the major league level. There are some that love Tyler Lyons. I mean, they say, boy, I wish I could get my hands on this guy. There's others that say, well, is he best suited in the bullpen? Is he a guy that can make it at this level? He's got flashes of it. You see it.
Well, and that's why if you really looked at what he's done at the major league level, and it's limited, he's been a much better reliever. But it's also a lot easier, you know, to break in as a reliever and have a manager kind of pick spots for you. As a starter, that's tough.
We'll see Tyler tomorrow on Mother's Day. And it's the off day on Monday, and the first of 3 against the Cleveland Indians interleague play on Tuesday. The 2-2. Peralta smokes it into left for a base hit. Johnny on base for the 3rd time. That was the 10th pitch in the at bat.
I was talking with Clint Hurdle, and you see it's down in the zone, but middle of the plate. And after 10 pitches, a real nice swing. I was talking to Clint Hurdle, and Clint believes that when you've reached an 8-pitch mark in a single at bat, you know, he feels like you've accomplished something. You know, even if you strike out, make an out, he feels like you got the pitch count up on a guy. You've got a chance to see a lot of pitches. Some people don't believe that, but I mean, you're really doing your job, and you're up to just the execution. You know, sometimes it's a line drive, sometimes you swing and miss.
Hayward hits it sharply to first as Alvarez steps on the bag for the out. So 2 down. Saturday, May 30th. Go crazy over a one-of-a-kind item that day. 25,000 fans, 16 and older, receive an Ozzie Smith bobblehead. Tickets are available at cardinals.com/promotions. There's the Ozzie Smith bobblehead. There's such an emphasis, Al, put on pitch counts now. You can understand why Clint would have that line of thinking. Not sure I necessarily agree, but I do understand it.
Yeah.
Ground ball that's hit to short, taken there by Mercer, and Molina is retired. We are midway through 5. Cardinals on top. It's 5-3. Entering with a ticket, receive a bat courtesy of Rawlings. And that day, kids will also receive a voucher ballot for a ticket to an upcoming home game. Get your tickets to the May 17th game at cardinals.com/promotions. Steve Lombardozzi will be the pinch hitter for Vance Worley. So Worley gives them 5. And now Lombardozzi, the former Washington National, will be the pinch hitter.
I grounded out his pinch hitter in the 5th inning Wednesday night. That was his Bucks debut. He had 379 at AAA. And really his last few days there, he hit in 10 of the last 11 AAA games at a .415 clip. He was second in the International League in hitting.
And that is a foul ball. No balls and 2 strikes. You know, you watch Martinez and you say this guy just gets by on pure stuff. You know, you count on Yadier Molina to help you through a little bit, but it really is just raw stuff when you think about Martinez.
But you're starting to get him to be more of a pitcher than just a thrower. But you're absolutely correct. And we forget about how young he is.
Held on to by Molina, and the strikeout, number 6 tonight for Carlos Martinez.
The only way to really learn is to be out there on the mound pitching.
What's he going to look like in 5 years? You know, how good could he potentially be?
Well, that's it. You know, I mean, barring injury, you know, you'd like to think that he will continue to advance as a pitcher.
Now he's 23.
Exactly. And he'll play almost to the end of the season before he turns 24.
September 21st, his birthday. Here's Polanco. Polanco came up for the Pirates last year, number 1 prospect at the time. 89 games, hit .235. signed as a non-drafted free agent back in 2009. A world of talent. Can run, good arm.
You know, I, for one, didn't think Martinez was going to be able to do what he has done already. You know, throw away the last start. But prior to that, he was 6 innings in every start and 7-1. 7-1 of his start. So I didn't think he could do that because of he's so emotional that he, you know, amped up and do different things. But they've got him under control. He's a lot more mature. I think the tragic death of Oscar Taveras was a big learning curve for him, and his relationship with Mike Matheny, I think, is very, very good.
Second walk issued by Martinez. What's on tap presented by Budweiser, Tyler Lyons, and Jeff Locke. Locke is 2-2, and Lyons made one start against Chicago, a game the Cardinals eventually won. Will come your way tomorrow at noon right here on Fox Sports Midwest.
I thought Carlos could be a real weapon at the end of a bullpen. But he's showing that he can keep his emotions in check. He can go deep in a ball game, or at least, you know, have to give you that 6 innings. And then you're talking about in 2 or 3 years, you know, maybe he's going to be completing a certain high percentage of his starts. There's no doubt he's got a major league arm.
Pitch count only at 65. Runner goes. Molina throws to second and got him. What a throw by Yadier Molina. Clint Hurdle was saying before the game he believes his Pirates can test Molina. 7 for their last 11 against Yadi, but not this time.
Or a quick release. We're talking about Polanco, who is 9 out of 10 before being caught right there. But a quick release by Yadier Molina. Money right, the throw right on the money. Easy tag applied by Peralta. And boy, that's another pick-me-up for Carlos Martinez.
Two-0 pitch. Now 2-1.
Another reason why I kind of preferred Martinez in the bullpen, and he's already corrected this, was his inability to get left-handed hitters.
We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
In his career, nearly a 300 average against him. Matter of fact, it was over that. And this year, much better. 233, the lefties. If we would even see managers mix and match to get the lefties against Martinez late if they could, as Walker hits it a ton out to right. And there's a lefty going deep. His second home run this year. The Silver Slugger last year at second base in the National League, Neil Walker.
And Dan, that's still something that Carlos is going to have to cut down on. That's his 6th home run he's allowed. And you see this one down. But, you know, left-handed hitters like the ball down. It was in the middle of the plate. Big difference if you get that in or get it away. But in the middle of the plate, they can hit it hard.
Now McCutchen, and the caught stealing looms large. 5-4 St. Louis. McCutchen is in the bottom third of all Major League center fielders in average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, and now he lines out to second base. Walker, a solo home run. 5-4 as we head to the 6th. Players to watch. Go to DraftKings.com and enter promo code CARDS. That's a look at BABIP. That's batting average on balls in play. This does not include, by the way, for those of you that follow or don't follow sabermetrics, but does not include home runs or sacrifice bunts. So in other words, the batter puts the ball in play. It didn't clear the outfield fence. They take a look at the average and what happens. That's your DraftKings players to watch. Rob Scahill, our Chevy, called to the pen.
And his 11th appearance, very good ERA, giving up a hit per inning, striking out nearly a batter per inning, and walking about one every 2 innings. So we've seen him in the past knock the starter out. You're well on your way. You score 5 runs, you should be in line for a victory too, but Cardinals need to pile on.
Rob Scahill is the new pitcher in for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Reynolds, then Martinez, and John Jay. Two scoreless frames. 1 hit allowed Wednesday for Scahill against Cincinnati. We also saw him Sunday afternoon in St. Louis in that long game that eventually was won by Colton Wong. Scahill, who gave up the walk-off hit to Matt Adams in the Friday night game 1 of that series last weekend. He strikes out Reynolds. And Mark go for 2 with a walk. It's the first strikeout of a Cardinal tonight.
Yes.
Inside to Martinez. Carlos squared the bunt twice his last time up with runners at first and second. Didn't get a bunt down. Then with a swing put it out like a bunt, and no one was at the bag at first to cover, and it wound up being an infield hit. His first. He's now 1 for 10 on the young season. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fly ball lifted down the right field line and out of play. Rob Scahill, we saw him with the Colorado Rockies now in his first season.
Selected by Colorado back in the 2009 first-year player draft in the 8th round.
Slowly hit to the right side. It's rolling fair, and Scahill makes the play. Celebrate the kickoff to summer by watching the Cardinals take on the Dodgers and by sprucing up your yard. On Friday, May 29th, 25,000 fans 16 and older take home a Whitey Herzog Garden Gnome. Tickets are available at Cardinals.com/promotions. Scahill was drafted by the Yankees in the 48th round in 2008. Pitched at Bradley University, which is part of the Missouri Valley Conference. Their home office based in St. Louis. Did not sign, then drafted by the Rockies.
Won the Mike Dunn Award at Bradley. Might remember Mike Dunn. Came to the Cardinals system, and if I'm not mistaken, was in the Pena deal with Van Slyke and LaValliere.
1-0 pitch. Taken low and in by John Jay. 2-0.
Andy Van Slyke now back with Lloyd McCutcheon. McCutcheon with Seattle.
Lloyd McClendon.
McClendon. Get this guy.
Back to Scahill. And a flip over to first, and Scahill has a 1-2-3 6th inning. 5-4 St. Louis. That's right on StubHub. The price you see is the price you pay. Plus, with the StubHub app, you can buy and sell Cardinals tickets anytime, anywhere. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals. Here's Sean Rodriguez. And he drills it into right center field for a base hit. He has hit the Cardinals quite well coming off the bench.
You better believe it. I was talking to Clint Hurdle about him yesterday. You know, his father is a minor league manager. He's 30 years of age, so he's been around a bit. But boy, he has been impressive to play all over the diamond. And he, as you said, got a couple, 2 or 3 big hits in St. Louis, and come up there swinging the bat with a solid hit up the middle here today.
He's played with the Angels, Tampa Bay, now here in Pittsburgh. So the tying run is on. Go ahead run at the plate in Alvarez. He takes a mighty cut. Pedro has walked and scored and also grounded out. Carlos Martinez, 6 strikeouts, couple of walks, allowed the home run to Walker. Cardinals about hit the Pirates 9-7. You know, Martinez is only at 75 pitches. You'd love to get him through this inning and next.
Exactly. In my mind, you really are not doing your job. You know, if you go below 6 innings as a starter, you just put too much burden on the relief corps. And yet, if Martinez were to make his 34 starts and go and average 6 innings, you can't have that high of an inning total this year. I think 125, 127 has been his career high in innings pitched. That was a few years ago. The Cardinals are going to be very cautious of how many innings he throws this year. Dan, you hear a lot of people making comments about, they call him Little Pedro in reference to Pedro Martinez.
2-2. Pick off and back in safely, Rodriguez.
I can remember when Pedro Martinez first got to the big leagues with the Dodgers, they traded him to Montreal because they said he's not big enough. He's not big enough. He can't handle the workload of the starter at the major league level. Well, we all know Pedro Martinez proved them wrong, and he's going into the Hall of Fame this summer.
(3-2) and a walk. Well, you do forget just how young not only Martinez is, but Michael Wacha. So 2/5 of the rotation. Youngest National League starters with 5+ starts this year. Michael Wacha, by the way, is 5-0. And the pitchers with 5 wins so far in the National League, there's 4 of them. Michael Wacha 5-0. You have Matt Harvey, Zach Greinke, and Bartolo Colon.
And from one end of the spectrum to the other with Colon.
Just crazy, isn't it?
40+ years of age. Of course, Harvey coming off of Tommy John. The Dark Knight lost his first game last night as Ryan Howard hit a home run off him. He lost that game 3-1 to the Phillies. He was going for number 6.
Jung Ho Gang is 2 for 2. He struck out when he tried to call time last night against Seth Maness, and a called 3rd strike right down the middle. He was part of the Korean baseball organization. He played the allotted time there that he had to before he could come to the United States. Last year's a shortstop, 40 home runs, 117 RBIs. Began his career as a catcher, then moved to 3rd, and now primarily a shortstop, but playing 3rd base tonight. He signed for 4 years, $11 million with Pittsburgh.
Based on what he's done against the Cardinals, he's worth it.
Martinez picks up a big strikeout. Surprised, Al, they weren't bunting in this spot.
Well, it makes you almost wonder if Clint Hurdle knows he can't bunt. You know, like you said, 40 home run hitter over in the Korean League. Maybe he's never really been asked to do that, but you would think that they would have him working on that. He was 2 for 2 tonight before he helped Martinez by swinging at pitches out of the strike zone. 7th strikeout.
Strike 1 on Cervelli. Seth Maness is throwing in the Cardinals pen. Cervelli is 0 for 2. You think if the Cardinals can get through this inning unscathed, even if the pitch count stays, let's say, around 90-95, might be it with Martinez.
Well, I would say it would be because of what we're talking about. You got to bank some innings, and you know you're carrying an extra reliever down there. You know, it's either you got your bullpen overworked, or you got yourself in a situation where you got guys that need work down there. And I think that's more the case tonight. But this game, you know, we're already in the Pirate bullpen. It's not going to be long for the Pirates are in the Cardinal bullpen.
Here's a 1-1 pitch on its way inside.
A year ago, when Carlos, for the most part, was out of the bullpen, he threw like 100 innings. How many innings do you want to boost him up? Last year, Walker was injured for extended period of time. How many innings is he going to be able to throw this year?
3-1 pitch with the breaking ball, and it's now 3-2.
I do believe that the Cardinals will have an excellent plan, and they won't shut down these guys, but they're trying to conserve innings from guys in their rotation so they are able to pitch in September and beyond.
Bases loaded, 2 outs in the inning. That may be it for Martinez. Who knows?
Got your double play specialist out there in the bullpen, and looks like Mike's going to go to him. He just made the call, so Seth Maness will come in with the bases loaded and 1 out. So a Chevy call to the bullpen. Seth is so good at getting the double play to get out of an inning. lead our Hyundai pitch arsenal. You see it's fastball 66% of the time. It's a sinking fastball. He gets ground balls. And he's got a very good changeup. Slider, well, he'll mix in there too. But Seth, when you bring him in, you always like to have a double play situation. Led the major league relievers the last couple of years in inducing double plays, and he got one last night.
So the base is loaded. Maness is into the game. 17th appearance already for Seth Maness. And a fly ball lifted out to deep center field. Trouble, Jay back, and it's off the wall. 2 runs are in, and the Pirates go back on top.
Three RBIs from Mercer tonight. Got one on an infield out, but here he does a lot of damage. This ball is down in the zone, but he got underneath it and takes this ball a couple feet from being a grand slam. High off the wall, they play it, get it back in, but the Pirates have the lead.
Infield in. That swung on and missed. This is Corey Hart at the plate.
Corey Hart has all 4 pinch hits. Also has a home run and all 4 pinch hit RBIs. He's done all the damage as a pinch hitter for the Buccos.
Infield in. Runners at second and third. Pulled foul, and it's 0-2.
Now the Cardinals are going to have to battle back.
0-2 pitch. Fly ball, center field. Jay in a position to throw to the plate. Here it comes. No, he'll go to third. Run will score. And Mercer is tagged out between second and third. The run does count. And so Corey Hart picks up an RBI. Will the Cardinals come back again? Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Cardinals will have Colton Wong, Matt Holliday, and Matt Adams. And Jared Hughes is the new pitcher in for Pittsburgh. Hughes also, just like Maness, appearing for the 17th time already this year.
A real workhorse, has the mileage for Clint Hurnell's done a nice job in his 14 innings, giving up more than a hit per inning, but he strikes out more than a batter in an inning. And good control, 15 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's one of those products from Long Beach State, where he was teammates with Longoria and also Tulowitzki. Pretty good left side of the infield.
I'd say so. Born in Stamford, Connecticut, raised in San Marino, California. Former 16th round choice by Tampa Bay. Then went to Long Beach State. He was in the rotation there, now working out of the bullpen here for Pittsburgh. 7-5 Pirates in the top of the 7th. At the time of his promotion, he was the 41st major leaguer. Long Beach State history in the major leagues. He'll produce some very good ones as Long rounds out. The Mazda game summary. The Cardinals batted around back in the 4th inning. They put up 5 runs and led at that point 5-3. The Pirates have battled back. Martinez 5 1/3. Molina a double, pair of RBIs. Vance Worley, the starter for Pittsburgh, 5 innings, and Jordy Mercer 1 for 3 with a double and 3 RBIs. Here's Holiday. One of the key at bats in this game. Bases loaded, 2 outs back in the 4th, and he popped out. He's doubled and singled, 2 for 3. It is early, but Pittsburgh already 9 games back of St. Louis in the Central Division. Off the end of the bat, this may drop, and Polanco can't make the catch. And Holiday is aboard. It's a base hit. 3-hit night for Matt.
That's 4 hits and 8 at bats off a fuse. Polanco, one of those situations where you're running so hard coming in on a ball, you think you don't know if you're going to get there, and then you actually almost overrun it right in the middle of his glove and just can't hold on to it. Generous hit, and we're happy for Matt.
Now it's Matt Adams. 0 for 3 tonight. And that is a fair ball. And I wonder if the Cardinals may argue that. Ruled a fair ball, and Matt Adams looking back at the home plate umpire. Our vantage point high up here, but it seemed to be foul.
And that's what they're checking on, but you know, Matt did the right thing. If you stand there, it's a double play. You got to let the umpire, you run it out and then let them decipher whether it's a fair or foul ball. I thought it was fair. Umpire's right on top of that.
Sure is. Hard to argue with that.
Yeah. You feel like you got cheated, but Matt did do the right thing by running there. And otherwise, they have a double play easy. They throw out Holiday at second, and then Matt still in the batter's box at home.
So here's Johnny Peralta. Peralta on base 3 times. The struggles early for the Pittsburgh Pirates have been magnified. 23 of the first 29 within the division. And 5 of their 9 wins are against Milwaukee. Cardinals 17-5 within the Central.
Yeah.
Win at home, win within your division. 0-2 the count. Peralta with a walk and a pair of singles to go along with an RBI and a run scored in the 4th. Time to stretch on this Saturday night. special team hat and are invited to enjoy special pre-race activities, which include a meet and greet with Louis, music, and more. For more information, join the St. Louis Blues and Fox Sports Midwest at stlouisblues.com. Polanco, Walker, McCutchen. And Randy Choate is our Chevy called to the pen.
14th time for the lefty specialist. Just a total less than 5 innings in his work this year. You got the left-handed hitter, then a switch hitter. Will it be one batter or will it be two?
Randy 4 2/3 so far this year. He's given up 5 hits, and the first pitch is taken for a ball. We're underway here in the home half of the 7th. Here's Gregory Polanco, grounded out to first, and an RBI double in the 2nd. Walked in the 5th and was caught stealing. Mark Reynolds way in on the grass at 3rd. Adams playing in at 1st in the outfield straight away. That's pulled foul, and watch out.
Hopefully everybody's okay with that one.
Fans clapping around that area, so looks like that fan's going to be all right. Or no one liked him and they're happy they got hit, which I doubt it's the latter. 1 ball, 1 strike. You know, Polanco at one point in his minor league career did have a season of 16 home runs, and you noted last night just how shallow the Cardinals outfield plays for Polanco.
Still a young player. He's going to grow into that body, and you think at some point he might be more of a power threat. Got a big swing. Randy has retired 4 times in 4 plate appearances.
Miguel Sokolovich is throwing in the Cardinals pen. Plaza Tire Service, Fox Tracks.
My question is, do you let Choate face Walker, the switch hitter? Over 300 left-handed, just 133 right-handed.
Going into the count.
Got to get Polanco out, and we'll figure that one
out. Polanco waves at it and strikes out.
Good breaking ball from Randy, keeping that well away from a young hitter. Gets the strikeout. Because Walker, an everyday player, switch hitter, but a real threat left-handed, not much right-handed.
Trying to bunt his way on. Choate spins, throws, and makes the play. 2 down, and Mike Matheny will hop out of the dugout. They'll make a change and get Sokolovich in to face McCutchen. Mitch Harris had also been throwing in the pen as well.
That's Sokolovich.
But that is Sokolovich. So Miguel will come on, and Randy Choate, nice work as he gets Polanco and Walker. Our Chevy call to the pen. Brewers will face former MVP and Andrew McCutchen. Fourth appearance. He already has a couple of wins under his belt. Had major league experience outside of St. Louis.
He did get his first major league win last Sunday. He was the winner in that 14-inning affair. A walk-off home run by Colton Wong on Sunday, and then he won again on Monday against the Cubs. So good luck charm. McCutchen is 0 for 1 against him.
And he takes a ball. We've seen a pretty good changeup from this right-hander of St. Louis.
I was impressed with him. I think he knows how to spot his fastball. He's got the good changeup and a good slider.
Liner into center off the bat of McCutchen. There's Jay. Good work by Choate and Sokolovich. We head to the 8th. Jason Hayward leads it off when we come back. Tony Watson, an all-star last year. Our Chevy called to the pen and one of the top lefties in the National League.
He gave up a couple home runs early, but he's back to his normal self. Opponents are batting 183 against him. He's allowed 1 inherited runner to score out of 7, and he has not been scored upon him, or just one time in the last 23 games here at PNC Park, and that dates back to last August.
Good fastball, good slider. That pitch at 92 to Jason Hayward, who's got a couple of doubles tonight, 2 for 3. Tony Watson from the state of Iowa, pitched collegiately at Nebraska, which has produced many good baseball players.
Right now, he's pretty much the standard bearer in the National League as the best left-handed relief pitcher.
1 ball, 1 strike on Hayward. Watson has it. Underhands to Pedro Alvarez. 1 down. Just joined us. The Pirates jumped out to a 3-0 lead after 2 innings of play. The Cardinals batted around in the 4th inning when they picked up 5, had their first lead of the night, and since then 4 unanswered by Pittsburgh. Molina's hit into a triple play, also a 2-run double back in that big 4th inning, and grounded out to short. short again. Jordy Mercer. Cardinals with a very short bench again tonight. Matt Carpenter not here in Pittsburgh, but the club does not want to put him on the disabled list. Hopefully the Cardinals get him back on Tuesday night in Cleveland. So on the bench, your backup catchers Tony Cruz. You have Pete Kozma and Peter Borges. Here's Mark Reynolds. Off day on Monday, the first off day in weeks for St. Louis.
And it doesn't get easy again. You got 16 days in a row you're playing after the off day.
2 night games and a day game in Cleveland. Al and Rick will have the call for you right here on Fox Sports Midwest for the Indians and Cardinals beginning on Tuesday night. 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1. Here's a 2-1. Cardinals then come back home and brief weekend homestand against Detroit in a rematch of the 06 World Series.
The Detroit pitchers couldn't field. How many errors did they have in that series? About 4 or so.
Throwing errors too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just amazing. And but it's hard to believe we're in year 10 of the quote-unquote new ballpark, and that was when the Cardinals beat Detroit the first year of Busch Stadium 3.
Oh, well, we were talking about how many years here? Almost
since 2001.
Yeah.
PNC Park opened up.
My third park in Pittsburgh. Played in Forbes Field and on Three Rivers, and now PNC Park.
So a 2-out walk to Reynolds, and now it's Peter Borges, the pinch hitter for St. Louis. What's that baseball doing up there?
Why hasn't somebody grabbed it yet?
Borges represents the tying run.
Peters, if there's any time that he's prepared for a pinch hit, it would be right now. He's gotten a chance to play. He's got a 5-game hitting streak, 8 for 18 during that time. He was 2 for 4 last night. Excuse me, 2 for 5 with a pair of doubles and scored twice, representing the tying run. How about Tony Watson giving up his 3rd home run of the year?
Borges has shown the occasional pop. 0-2 the count with 2 outs and a runner at first.
Close pitch there. Goes Borges' way. And I know you were talking about a game in St. Louis. You were talking about the display that Borges put on in batting practice. I heard Albert Pujols talk about that he thinks he has potential to hit 20-25 home runs.
Hit to short, tough play here. The force at second. That's the only play for Mercer. Would not have gotten Borges. They get the lead man in the final out here at the top of the 8th. still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. Great to have Chet Willoughby here. The Willoughby family of St. Louis. Always a good luck charm to have Chet here. The ballpark. Mitch Harris is the new pitcher for St. Louis. And it's part of a double switch. Pete Kozma takes over at third base. Harris, our Chevy call to the pen. What a job he's done so far.
Got his first win earlier this week. I see Pete.
Sean Rodriguez will lead it off against Harris.
I love the story of Mitch Harris. Older brother went to Annapolis.
Talking with Mitch before the game today, and he said it was tail end of last year when the velocity started to come back, and with the velocity then the cutter came back. It also features a split finger pitch as Rodriguez broke his bat, and there's one away. Hopefully the fans are all right, as that fan may have been hit just behind the Pirates dugout with that shattered bat. He was showing me how he holds his cutter. It's not conventional, and he said when it's right, it actually doesn't move like a natural slider. It's more down. And he also said that many people mistaken that for his split finger.
Right.
And he said you'll know the difference when the split finger is thrown because it'll go away from a lefty, and the cutter obviously will go into a lefty away from a righty. There's Peter Borges in center field. Has life changed at all for Mitch Harris? He says no. He said just a lot more interview requests, but still the same old guy, and said he wasn't nervous going into his first game with everything that he had been through, and never ever gave up hope. I just put it very bluntly. I said, did you ever give up? Did you ever think this isn't going to work out? He said never.
Well, the great story is the Cardinals obviously had hope too. That was probably a long shot that he would recapture his velocity, but there have been other athletes, that have graduated from the Naval Academy that were allowed out or early exits from their military commitment.
May have hit him, and Waugh can't make the play, so Alvarez is aboard. Caught Harris. Colton Waugh couldn't get it out of the glove. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals as they check on Harris. He says he's fine, and some smiles out there from Pete Kozma. Mitch telling me also he has a engineering degree. I said, what are you going to do with that once you're done with baseball? And he said, many times you find those in the Naval Academy that get that degree specifically for military duty in their job description of whatever assignments they may have, and it doesn't carry over to civilian life, and he's not sure if he'll use it in that regard. Just a great story though. Mitch Harris. That's the cutter there that gets away from Molina.
And Yachty out to talk to him. Let's take a look at it. Tried to pick it, and that ball sunk, and then kind of spun the opposite way than Yachty was anticipating. So you come out with an engineering degree out of Annapolis, and the thing is, Dan, is the Cleep summer, they try to make it so tough to get as many people to quit as possible. And every Fortune 500 company has their recruiters waiting to pick up these guys that drop out, because they know they have to have something on the ball to get that congressional appointment to go there. Go through Annapolis, and then in his case the 5 years of active military service, still a member of the reserves. He is A1 okay in my book. And thank him for our service, for his service.
Pulled foul. There's the cutter, and he couldn't pull the trigger, and a strikeout for Harris.
Close enough. Paul Emmel is voting on Navy in the Army-Navy game. Home plate umpire.
So 2 outs, runner at second base. First pitch to Cervelli. What do you think? And a ground ball that's hit to short. Peralta gets him by a step. Mitch Harris still unscored upon. Pete Cosmo will be the first hitter here in the top of the ninth. Cardinals trail by the score of 7-5. Chevy called to the pen, takes us to the Pirates closer. That's Mark Melancon, who is 5 for 6 in save opportunities.
He hasn't had a save opportunity since April 25th. He'll work a scoreless ninth inning on Thursday. Tune up, but it wasn't a save situation.
Budweiser play of the game. It's Jordy Mercer, 1 for 3. Came up with a bases loaded situation. Almost hit a grand slam. A double off the wall. 3 RBIs total. Our Budweiser player of the game. Some changes now for Pittsburgh as Josh Harrison takes over in left field for Sean Rodriguez. Rodriguez moves from left field to first base. Alvarez out and Melancon is in. Melanson has been involved in some pretty big deals that brought him to eventually here Pittsburgh and a home in the bullpen, the Shark Tank they call it. Began his major league career with the New York Yankees, then was sent to Houston for Lance Berkman. The Boston Red Sox then traded him. Jed Lowry was a part of that deal. Pittsburgh made a big deal to get Melanson and Stolmy Pimentel and Jerry Sands, Ivan De Jesus Jr. for Brock Holt and Joel Hanrahan. And Hanrahan has been out dealing with multiple shoulder surgeries.
Did we find a reason why John Jay came out of this game? They did put Cosman there, but John Jay is 2 for 4 off of Melanson. Cosman 0 for 3.
Slowly hit left side. One away, and it brings in Colton Wong. Wong has singled and scored back in the 4th, a 5-run inning. Also walked that inning. He's grounded to first and also grounded to second. Be interesting to see that lineup tomorrow for Mike Matheny. You get your day off on Monday. Try to get that 2 for 1 potentially. Wong is hustling down the line, 2 down. So the Cardinals down to their final out. I just took it as a position change, Al, once Borges was in, and then he stayed.
Just hope nothing was wrong with him. You watch him, wasn't going to stay in the game. And
this big crowd on their feet. Holiday, a 3-hit night, 3 for 4. 7-5 Pittsburgh.
Our fans are getting pretty excited trying to break up this 7-game winning streak the Cardinals have over the Pirates.
On pitch. 0-2. Certainly could have seen that going against Matt Holliday.
Sure could have. Give Paul Emmel a little credit. He's out of the strike zone, so he didn't ring him up.
And the 1-2 to Holliday. Matt trying to extend it to Adams. The 1-2 again. The fly ball lifted into right. This should do it. And the Pirates take game 2 by the final of 7-5.
Cardinals scored 5 runs. Usually you get good pitching. That should be enough for a win, but it wasn't tonight. You got the rubber game tomorrow. The Cardinals need to win that one behind Tyler Lyons. to win every series this year.
Pittsburgh native Neil Walker has seen some of the good times and the bad times. Big hit late for Pittsburgh.